Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is Tariq. Today we will discuss chapter number 4 with the name index number. In this area of statistics we will learn about the informations or statistics or data about the particular variables that the government and private sectors published, which help the people in understanding business and economic conditions of the particular economy. Like, for example, one can study in the economic survey of Afghanistan many indexes. Index mean collected information, list of the collected information about the particular variables, about the particular element of interest. So one can find in the Afghanistan Development Review or in the State Bank Journals, or one can find in the State Bank magazine or the Economic Survey of Afghanistan many variables like GDP, GNP of Afghanistan, per capita income of Afghanistan, aggregate consumption level of Afghanistan, aggregate investment level of Afghanistan, aggregate employment level, aggregate unemployment level. So the government sector publish informations or data about these particular variables of interest that the people read, study to understand the economic conditions of Afghanistan. So when government published these information, these statistics, this data, these informations are the statistics, this data is called indexes. For example, GDP index, GNP index, per capita income index, consumer price indexes, GDP deflator indexes, consumption, aggregate consumption indexes. These are all the macroeconomic variables, and the government published information about these variables that help the people to understand economic condition and business condition. Similarly, the private sector organizations also publish statistics, data or information about the different variables of interest. Like, for example, a particular company published the output level of the company, sales volume of the company, marketing or advertisement expenditures of the company, employee number, product number. They published all these in the magazines of the company or on the internet on website of the company. So in this section, in this particular area of study, we will discuss about the indexes, about the information of a particular variables. So let me first define what is index. Index, the list of data or the list of statistics or the list of information about any particular variable that government sector or private sector published, which help the people to understand the economic conditions and business condition of the economy. And we put few examples of those indexes, like GDP index. GDP index means the Bureau of Economic Analysis, which is one government agency. This Bureau of Economic Analysis or this government agency estimate every quarter GDP for Afghanistan, and they publish this GDP in the State Bank magazine or in the Economic Survey of Afghanistan. That this is the GDP of Afghanistan in the first quarter of 2019, second quarter of 2019, third quarter of 2019, and so on. So GDP is a variable and when the government published the GDP of the different quarters, different years, publish this. So these statistics, like for example GDP of Afghanistan first quarter 2020, suppose that is $700 billion. Second quarter of 2020 GDP is $900 billion. So these statistics are called indexes. Indexes mean the collected information about any variable which helps society to understand economic and business conditions. So for example, I'm putting another example from the company, organization or business side. The company is listing the output level of the company annually, monthly or quarterly or daily. So the list include the volume of the output produced, or sale volume, or employee number, or product number, or advertisement expenditures of the company in the last 10 years. So when the company record these statistics in a list form, that list is called indexes of output, or indexes of sales volume, or indexes of employee numbers, or indexes of product numbers, or indexes of advertisement expenditures, or index of GDP or GNP, or per capita income PCI, or CPI consumer price indexes. So these are all indexes. For example, consumer price index CPI lists inflation rate in the economy, inflation rate in the particular country, that prices increase or decrease over time, or how much increase or decrease over time. So the list of the inflation rates over time, this is called index. This is called consumer price index. Means the Bureau of Economic Analysis will list the increase in prices over time, and that list is called index, and that is called consumer price index. ما ایره دوباره در زبان دری میگم که دری بخش ما مختلف مطالعه به حواله مختلف indexes میکنیم. indexes چی است؟ indexes वो collected information است، वो data است، वो statistics است که او را دولت یا private sector published میکنه که مردم او را بخوانه او موجوده حالت اقتصادی او کاروباری را تحلیل کنه. ये बकुमकी ये इंडेक्सेस बकुमकी ये डेटा ये इंफॉर्मेशन कि दौलत या प्राइवेट सेक्टर पब्लिश में कुना मर्दुम बिजनेस और इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन रा मुतालिया में कुना. मसलन इंडेक्स जीडीपी खो इंडेक्स चियस वेरिएबल जीडीपीएस और दौलत जीडीपी रा कैलकुलेट में कुना रुबवार. خو مثلا جی डी پی افغانستان در اول کوارتر 2020 $700 بیلیون است. در دوم کوارتر جی डी پی افغانستان $900 بیلیون است. در سوم کوارتر جی डी پی افغانستان مثلا $1000 بیلیون است. خو یہ انڈیکس است او جی डी پی انڈیکس است. یہ स्टैटिस्टिक्स $700 billion GDP, $900 billion GDP or $1000 billion GDP era indexes mega collected information या statistics about the variable GDP. को ये index should list of information. Index चीज़ वो list के दरू information जस data statistics बहवाला एक variable मसलन GDP या मसलन ब्यूरो ऑफ इकोनॉमिक एनालिसिस वो कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स रा कैलकुलेट कर या पब्लिश कर. सीपीआई वो इंडेक्सेस की ये कीमती रा निशान में था दर दौलत की कीमती दर दौलत बमरूर जमान इजाफा शुदा मेरा कि कम शुदा मेरा. यानी सीपीआई रा कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स मेगा इंडेक्स बही माना कि दर ये लिस्ट कीमती रिकॉर्ड शुद के سالانه یا ماهانه در افغانستان به کدام شرح قیمتی اضافه شده میره یا کم شده میره. خو statistics و انفارمیشن به حواله قیمتی او را کنزیومر پرایس اندکس میگن. یا مثلا یک کمپنی آوتپوت کمپنی را ریکارد میکنه و در لیست است که آوتپوت کمپنی در اول ماه 2020 بود، در دوم ماه فروری 2020 آوتپوت کمپنی بود، در سوم ماه بود، در چهارم ماه اپریل 2020 بود اور در پنجم ماه مئی 2020 یہ آوتپوٹ است. خوب وہ آوتپوٹ کی پبلشڈ میکنه کمپنی، لیست میکنه، ریکارد میکنه، ایره میگه اندکس آوتپوٹ کمپنی. یا مثلا کمپنی امپلائی ریکارد را پبلشڈ میکنه کہ یہ نمبر آف امپلائیز ہے، یہ ایکسپیرینس ہے، یہ سیلری میگرا، یہ انکریمنٹ ماہانہ میگا، یہ انفارمیشن بحوالہ امپلائی ریکارڈ یہ انڈیکس شد. یا مثلا کمپنی از گذشته 10 سال مارکیٹنگ ایکسپنڈیچر در ریکارڈ میکنه که در 2010 یا 2011 ای قدر مارکیٹنگ ایکسپنڈیچرز بود، در 2012 ای قدر بود، در 2013 ای قدر بود. یہ ریکارڈ کی میکنه انفارمیشن سٹیٹسٹکس به حواله ایڈورٹیزمنٹ ایکسپنڈیچر ایره میگه ایکسپنڈیچر انڈیکس. خو انڈیکس چی است؟ list of information, list of data, list of statistics about any particular variable or about any particular element of interest. For example, I am discussing consumer price index, CPI. In this section we will estimate the change in the prices over time, means we will estimate inflation rate. For consumer price index, how we can define what is CPI? CPI measure the percentage change in the prices of goods and services over time. Simply CPI calculate inflation rate in a particular economy, that how much prices change, increase or decrease over time. So CPI estimate the change in the prices of goods and services over time. CPI چیست؟ CPI वो इंडेक्स است که वो قیمتی را اندازه میکنه در یک دولت به مرور زمان، که به مرور زمان قیمتی در یک دولت اضافه شده میره که کم شده میره. خوی اندکس را CPI میگه، کنزیومر پرایس اندکس. او در این چی است؟ در این اندکس دیتا کلکولیت میشه که در 2001 قیمتی بود، در 2002 قیمتی یہ شد، در 2003 یہ شد، در 2004 یہ شد. یا خو انکریز میشه یا ڈیکریز میشه. خو لیست انفارمیشن را CPI میگه، کنزیومر پرایس انڈیکس. For example, I am using the first consumer price index, price relative indexes. Price relative indexes is, this is very clear from this name, that this consumer price index, this price relative index, this list of information, this data will examine the relative prices, means it will examine the prices of the goods and services over time. Price relative will examine the price of the same commodity over time between the two time periods. For example, the price of cooking oil in 2019 and what is the price of cooking oil in 2020 relatively in two time periods. Price relative will examine the inflation or change in prices of the cooking oil. So price relative is one statistical numerical measure which is used to estimate or calculate or measure change in the price of a single item over time. How I can define price relative? Price relative is a statistical measure, statistical formulation which is used to estimate the percentage change in the price of a single item over time. between the two time periods. ما ایره دوباره در دین میگم که پرایس ریلیتیو چطور تعریف میشه. پرایس ریلیتیو یک statistical فارمولا است، یک numerical measure است، یک اندازه است، یک پیمایش است. او یه پرایس ریلیتیو چی را اندازه میکنه؟ قیمتی را اندازه میکنه. قیمتی یک کمودیتی سنگل آیتم که به مرور زمان قیمت یک سنگل آیتم اضافه شده میره که کم شده میره. خب پرایس ریلیتیو و فارمولا است که وہ چینج در قیمت یک سنگل کمودیتی را اندازه میکنه که به مرور زمان قیمت یک سنگل آیتم یا سنگل کمودیتی انکریز شده میره که دیکریز شده میره. خب پرایس ریلیتیو و مجر است که وہ قیمتی یک سنگل آیتم که سنگل آیتم قیمت شده میره که کم قیمت شده میره ایره کلکولیت میکنه. او یہ as mathematical notation formulation of the price relative. This is formula for the price relative in time t, where time t represent any time period, any month, any day, any week, any year, any quarter. So time means time period. So price relative in time t means we are going to estimate the change in the price of a single item between the two time periods. So price relative in time t, any time period. What is the formula? Current price, PC, current price of the item divided by the base year constant price of the same item. So PC, current price of the item divided by PB, base year price of the same item multiplied by 100. Let me elaborate PC and PB. PC means the current price of the particular item, current price in the current time period. And base year price ya constant set of price means when we consider the price of the same item in the past. That suppose in the past the price of the same item were fixed and this is not changing. Like for example, we are measuring or estimating the change in price of the cooking oil between the two time periods. One is 2019 and other time period is 2020. So current price is the price of cooking oil in 2020, but base year ya constant price of the same item cooking oil is the price in 2019. Let me again repeat that the current price of the cooking oil in 2020, this is called PC, price current, and base year means the price of the same cooking oil in 2019, so that is base year ya constant price. So this is the formula to define the price, to calculate inflation rate over time of a single item. So PC, price current of the item, divided by PB, constant price of the same item of the previous year. PB represent base year price. Base year price means the same item price but in the previous year, the previous time period, multiplied by 100, because we will calculate in percentages. Multiplied by 100, we are measuring, we are estimating inflation rate in percentages. That is why I am calculate percent change. So multiplied by 100. So this is price relative formula in time t. PC yani this means current price of the item divided by PB, constant price or base year price of the same item price in previous year multiplied by 100. Now we will further clarify this by putting one example. Note, we will compare the current year prices with base year prices. Base year prices means the set of constant price. When we assume that price remains same, price does not change from the last 1 year, 2 year or 3 year. So we will compare the current year prices with base year prices to examine the change in prices of the goods and services over time. We will compare the current price with the previous year's prices of the same item to examine that price of the particular item is increasing or decreasing. Ma ira dobara dar zubani dari megam ki price relative formulas PC می به این معنی که موجوده قیمت کمودیتی که فعلا جریان داره PC current price فعلا که قیمت در بازار جریان داره علامه او PC است current price تقسیم PB base year price B از base گرفته شد base year price به این معنی که PC خوب قیمت کمودیتی است که فعلا در بازار جریان داره और प्राइस PB वो साबित कीमत कमोडिटी है कि वो दर तेर शुदन ईयर या टाइम पीरियड बुद मसलन मा आज 2-3 साल में गम की कीमत कुकिंग ऑयल आज 2016 एच तगीर न शुदा मेरा को बेस ईयर 2016 शुद को भाई वजह बेस ईयर कांस्टेंट प्राइस रहेगा या कीमत तेर शुदन साल कि वो तेर शुद फैलन की जरियान दारा और करंट प्राइस मेगा तकसीम बेस ईयर वो ईयर के आजू मा कीमती रा एग्जामिन में करूं और बेस ईयर मेगा वो साल रा बेस ईयर मेगा कि आजू मा कीमती रा कैलकुलेट में करूं कि आजू वक्त ताफेलन कीमता बकुदाम अंदाजा चेंज शुद कीमत या कमोडिटी चेंज शुद कुदाम अंदाजा चेंज शुद चंद परसेंटेज इजाफा शुद या चंद परसेंटेज कम शुद ये फार्मूल शुद we will clarify by putting one example. For example, estimate the percentage change in the price of a cooking oil between 2019 and 2020. I am estimating the increase, the change in the price of cooking oil between the two time periods. 2019 is the base year and 2020 is the current year. So I will examine the change in price of the cooking oil between these two time periods. This is the data table. From this data table we have item cooking oil, base year price per kg in 2019 that were 200 per kg. It's mean the price of cooking oil in 2019 were 200. So that 2019 is my base year. This price is remain fixed from the 2019 to 2020. And current price in 2020 this is 300 Afghani per kg. So PC current price. Current price mean price which is prevailing in the 2020. So these are the given informations about the two different time periods prices of the same commodity cooking oil. Price in 2019 200 and price in 2020 current that is 300. So base year price is 200, it's mean 2019 is base year and current price is 300. So we will compare that how much price increase or decrease between 19 and 20. So we will put the values in the formula. Price relative in time t, current price divided by base year price multiplied by 100. Price relative in time 2020, t is 2020 means we are estimating, we are calculating inflation rate between the two time period 19 and 20 in 2020. We are calculating inflation rate or change in price in 2020. So current price of the cooking oil in 2020 that is 300. I am putting in here. Divided by the base year price means price which is remained fixed in 2019 that is 200. So 300 divided by 200 is 1.5 and price relative in time 2020 is equal to 1.5 multiplied by 100. When we multiply 1.5 with 100, price relative in 2020 is equal to 150%. What does this mean? increase in price level. How much price increase? Inflation rate in 2020 minus inflation rate in base year 2019. So in base year, always inflation rate will be 100%. We study this in the macroeconomics. So increase in price level is equal to inflation rate in 2020, we calculate that is 150%, and minus inflation rate in the base year always is 100. So 150 minus 100, increase in price level is 50%. What does this 50% mean? This means that the price of the cooking oil between 2019 and 2020 increased by 50%. This inflation rate 50% increase between the 2 years are within 1 year. From 19 to 20, the prices of cooking oil 50% increase. Maira dubara dar zubane dari megam ke inja. Okay, we will repeat in the next lecture because the size of the video is expanding and then this create problem in uploading.